State of New California notice to all Californians, Grievance 64, April 16, 2019. New California is a new state in development exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Section 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power by the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state provided in the United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 3 and Section 4. We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States. New California Declaration of Independence of January 15, 2018 states, whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Preamble of the New California State Constitution states, we, the representatives of the undersigned counties within the state of California, do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberty to ourselves and our posterity. First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. The counties of New California bring forward 95 grievances to be announced in public on Tuesday at 11 a.m. State of New California Grievance 64. Declaration of Grievance, Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a republican form of governance, enables and supports across its southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a monoparty system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government is in direct violation of the following. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened, against domestic violence. United States Constitution, Article 6, Section 2. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding. Absolute lawlessness is the order of the day. The California Socialist Governor, the Socialist Monoparty government, along with Socialist county, city officials, and party apparatchiks, are now calling for absolute lawlessness as they engage in the destruction of the state of California. The Socialist Governor of California has now called for the suspension of the death penalty for over 737 vicious criminals who were convicted by the California courts for their crimes. Ignoring the will of the voters, the Socialist Governor used dictatorial powers to, in effect, declare these vicious criminals innocent. The Association of Deputy District Attorneys issued the following statement regarding the decision by the Socialist Governor to put a moratorium on the death penalty. The voters of the state of California support the death penalty. That is powerfully demonstrated by their approval of Proposition 66 in 2016 to ensure the death penalty is implemented, and the rejection of measures to end the death penalty in 2016 and 2006. Governor Newsom, who supported the failed initiative to end the death penalty in 2006, is usurping the express will of California voters and substituting his personal preferences via his hasty and ill-considered moratorium on the death penalty. Michelle Hannessy is president of the Association of Los Angeles Deputy District Attorneys, and wrote the following about the socialist legislature. State legislature continues its unwavering commitment to undermining public safety. The most dangerous numbers in Sacramento these days. 1182. That's the designation of the latest assault on public safety. Assembly Bill 1182, introduced earlier this month, it would reduce the amount of time even dangerous offenders must spend on parole after being released from prison. If passed, it will march in lockstep alongside Proposition 47, Proposition 57, SB 1391, and AB 109 in the parade of criminal coddling legislation that the governor and state legislature have foisted on an unwilling public in recent years. Here are some of AB 1182's lowlights. AB 1182 would reduce from 1 year to 180 days the amount of parole time for certain criminals who are released from state prison after serving sentences for serious felonies, including horrific sex offenses. AB 1182 would drop the parole service requirement from either 2 or 3 years to either 1 or 2 years for high-risk offenders. AB 1182 would require that criminals who have been released to county parole supervision be discharged from parole after 6 consecutive months in the absence of a parole violation. Under current law, these offenders must only be considered for discharge. AB 1182 also strips the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation of its ability to recommend certain offenders be retained on parole. The motivation for wanting to relax supervision of dangerous felons remains unclear. Law-abiding Californians simply cannot afford any more assaults on their rights to live peaceably and without constant fear of being victimized by brutal criminals. Previous pro-criminal measures have had demonstrable and disastrous effects. Prop 47 reduced a host of offenses to misdemeanors and encouraged thieves to continue stealing. Using irrational thought and racist reasoning, the socialist legislature is all but ignoring the rule of law and acting outside their legal authority without the consent of the voters, in effect, acting like third world dictators to further the expansion of criminal cartels. The pain the socialist dictators have now brought to the families of the victims of some of the state's most vicious criminals directly points to violations of Article 4, Section 4, and Article 6, Section 2 of the United States Constitution. More importantly, the socialist California government have demonstrated they will continue a long train of abuses of the law on their way to create a society in which criminal behavior is celebrated and encouraged, resulting in the breakdown of the rule of law. New California State will not tolerate the rise of the totalitarian insurrection. The government of California, the current governor and monoparty system, along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1807 is a United States federal law that governs the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawlessness, insurrection, and rebellion, acts of secession. Therefore, the California government, in conjunction with the socialist state executive, instituted wherever the current socialist governor has usurped power, has created a reign of terror on United States citizens living in California with the intent to secede from the United States of America and thus destroy the very union of states which secures our liberty and freedom. Abdication of authority. Betrayal by the sitting socialist governor of California, the monoparty legislature, and local elected officials is evidence of abdication of their responsibilities of authority and sovereignty over the state and citizens of the United States living in California. Prayer. The citizens of New California State pray for the President to exercise his authority under the Insurrection Act of 1807 to end the tyranny being foisted upon the United States citizens living in California State. This concludes these proceedings. To donate and for more information, please visit us at newcaliforniaoc.org. Thank you.